Hey, Krista.
Hi, Karen.
Oh my gosh, what a day today has been. I know, like you, we're in this odd storm paths where they're panicked but not panicked, and they're thinking it could be bad. And I know that to the south of us, they've had some really devastating storms. So I'm really thoughtful of those people there and want our audience to know if we bug out, it's because our tornado warnings have gone off. And I think you're in the same boat. You're getting the top end of the storm, and I'm at the bottom end of it.
Right, right. There was a tornado touchdown, presumably in a town southwest of here, and it looks like it's going to pass just below us if it stays together. I've been hearing lightning pretty significantly for the last 10 minutes, so we'll see. Life's an adventure, right?
It is an adventure, and I know we've got some people following us right now, and I bet they're all excited to see you like up and mobile and looking good. All right.
Look, it's as far as I can go, but look,
Hey, I'm impressed. I haven't seen you move that shoulder for 2 weeks. So,
yeah, that's
uh,
what physical therapy will do for you.
that's right. Well, we're really glad that you're on the way to recovery. I think we'll come in at the end of this and do some housekeeping because we have some prize giveaways to do. But you guys, we have a special treat today. So, Rebecca King, who really does a great job at instructing on the gun cleaning, she wasn't able to join us. So, we have this recorded segment and we're going to put it up. We want you to ask us questions. If you have questions during it, we'll answer them on the chat. And Rebecca's just going to go through her thing. She was kind enough to record this for us. She is a 3-gun shooter. She's a Girl in a Gun chapter leader, and she is a instructor for Shoot Like a Girl and just an all-around great person. So I'm excited to watch it. Krista, do you have anything to say before I bring her
I
in?
was going to say, if you recognize her from the video today, if you've seen her on any of our at any of our shows or any of our pictures, you'll recognize her smile, right? So she's got a beaming smile. We will be in the background, right? So it's a recording, and we can always pause her and answer a question if someone throws something up. So this is going to be a different situation, and when we get done, we'll hop back in and do our business.
Yeah, unless of course we're in our basements because the tornadoes have decided to descend upon us, which we're thinking not, but
Yeah, I think
never
it'll be
know.
fine.
Can't
All right.
predict the weather.
Hello to my Shoot Like a Girl family. I'm Rebecca King. I want to talk to you today about how you clean your pistol. Cleaning is an important part of your gun ownership. Taking responsibility for your own equipment and making sure that it is safe and reliable to fire is one of the positive things that you get to do and take ownership of. So first of all, I want to start with some safety. It's one of those things that you just everything you do with shooting starts off with safety. So I just want to remind you that we are going to keep these guns unloaded. In fact, I don't have any ammunition anywhere in the vicinity when I am cleaning a firearm because I don't want any opportunity for a disaster to happen when I'm not expecting. So I'm going to take my gun and I'm going to pick it up, keeping it pointed in a safe direction with my finger off the trigger. I'm going to eject my magazine, nice and empty. And then I'm going to lock the slide to the rear. I'm going to physically and visually check this chamber to make sure that there is nothing in there. It's all clear. And now I know that I can go ahead and proceed with this whole process. What I'm going to do next is put on my own personal protective equipment. So my PPE today consists of eye protection. That's because some of the solvents that I use to clean my gun are in aerosol form, and I don't want any splashback at all. Next, I'm going to put on some gloves. And I chose blue today so that it's a contrasting color, and you'll actually be able to see what my hands are doing when they're up next to a black frame. All right. Next, I'm just gonna let you know some of the equipment that you need to have. If let's say you're at the range and you just want a really quick clean, you don't want to have to take your gun down, but maybe you had a malfunction or you fired a lot of rounds and it's getting kind of dirty. So the bare minimum that you would need for that is something called a bore snake. It is a long piece of fabric that's been braided on one end. It has kind of like a shoelace texture on the end, and it has this weighted piece right here. That weighted piece is to allow it to go through the barrel without you having to struggle with it. And then in addition to that, I want some kind of cleaning product just to get some moisture in there to shuffle out some of that fouling. So today I'm using Hoppy's Gun Medic Cleaner and Lube. This falls in the category of the Clean Lube Protect, or people may call it a CLP, but that's what this is. And so what I can do is spray that directly onto this boar snake so that I can run it through the barrel. Now, just a little more of the anatomy of the snake. I already mentioned the weighted end and that this thinner piece goes through the barrel, but the other cool part of it is right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there are some bristles there. They are to mimic a cleaning jag. All right, so it is all here. I'm going to spray directly onto it, right where that the bristling part is, maybe some of the tail a little bit. Then I'm going to pick up this gun and I'm going to feed that straight through the barrel and pull. And then next thing you know, I like to do it twice, maybe 3 times, depending. But it's such an easy process. It goes all the way through, pulling, and voila, my gun has been field cleaned, but the barrel at least. So that is a handy process if you don't have a lot of time or if you didn't bring a full cleaning kit, and that's what you can use for that. All right. Now, if you want to do a little bit more of a detailed cleaning, there are some other products that you're going to need. Okay, one of them is a cleaner. This is a bore cleaner, and it is designed to get all the fouling and particulates and all that whatnot out of your barrel. I like to compare this to shampoo. It's the part that cleans and gets the job done there. And then there's also this product here is a oil. It's a lubricant. And we're going to use that when we're done. And I like to compare this to a conditioner. So after you shampoo your hair, you add the conditioner, and that's your moisture, right? This will make sense in a minute. Well, the CLP, what I used on the boar snake, the CLP, I compare that to a shampoo and conditioner in one. It's that product that you use when you're in a hurry or when you're traveling. But I noticed that with me, over time, if I use a shampoo and conditioner in one, I kind of get a little bit of a buildup in there. And then what do I have to do? I need to go back to the actual cleaner and really get all that buildup out and then go to the conditioner. So it's the same thing with these products. A CLP is certainly good enough to clean your gun. You can even clean it a few times with that, but eventually you're going to want to dig out that bore cleaner and really give it a detailed cleaning. So that's how you can kind of sort through all that broad spectrum of cleaning products. So at a minimum, I would do shampoo, conditioner, and shampoo and conditioner in one, depending on what I'm doing. All right, in addition to that, you are going to need a rod. Okay, a rod is what you're going to use to push your jags through your barrel. And I have several rods here just because I don't want to have to keep changing out the tips. But different jags, they screw onto the end and they do different functions for you. Okay, but what I have done is prepared that in advance. So I have a little bit of a shortcut. So you're going to need a rod. You're going to need something on the end of the rod that you're going to push through your barrel. And then you need some kind of a patch. Now these are caliber specific, all of these things, because cleaning a 22 and cleaning, a 30 caliber, very different, okay? And you want a nice snug fit, because that snug fit is what's gonna, dig in through those lands and grooves and get all that fouling out, okay? So I have my patch. Now, you can use store-bought patches that are designed for that, or you could even cut up an old t-shirt. It's whatever you need to use to stick down your barrel. There's also a cool product from Boar Tips. It's like a foam Q-tip, basically. And you can press that straight through the barrel as well. So options abound, but something needs to go through there that you can put some solvent on. Okay, so before I go any further, I'm going to disassemble my firearm. Now, we all know that there is no way I could tell each of you how to take down your own individual guns. There are just way too many. So I'm just going to take mine down, and we'll move on with the process. And just know that if you don't know how to take your gun down, there is plenty help out there. The owner's manual that it came with, it has instructions on how to disassemble and reassemble. But in addition to that, let's say, oh no, I don't know where my manual is. That is okay. You go to the manufacturer's website, and they usually have a free PDF format of the manual. You can just download that and figure it out. If you still need help, just Google their number. Say, hey, Smith & Wesson, and then give them a call and say, hey, I need help. What can I do? And they will walk you through it. They also have YouTube videos available. Most of them do anyway. I had to press the trigger on my gun to be able to disassemble it. Of course, that was in a safe direction, but I took the slide off. So now I have 2 parts plus the magazine. So that's 1, 2, 3 parts, right? Another product that I have that I use, it is not required, but for my own sanity, I just have a tray. Sometimes you get some small parts and you don't want them to roll off or to get lost. So I have a tray. It's magnetic on the back, so it will hold the things I need to hold without losing them. Certainly a tabletop will work, but that's what I use. All right. So I have the frame, and I'm setting that aside. The magazine is set aside, and I'm going to come to this slide. Most of the slides are pretty comparable in appearance to this. So you'll have a spring, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my fingers and pop that spring out. And then I'm gonna stick that spring in that little tray that I was talking about. Then you have your barrel should be accessible now, and you just pull it out. So now you have your slide and you have your barrel, and I'm gonna set the slide aside. Now, you know when you have dirty dishes in the kitchen and you have some pots and pans maybe, sometimes you have a little extra something stuck on your pots and pans. So what do? Well, what I do is I soak them in the dishwater, right? So I'm going to do something very similar to the barrel, because really the barrel is the dirtiest part. So I'm going to take my bore scrubber, I'm going to screw the top off, and then I'm going to pour the solvent into the lid. I don't want to directly dip my brushes into the solvent, because then all the particulates can contaminate the jar. So I'm just going to pour this into the lid, set that down, and now that's ready. I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to dip it in there to get it wet. You can also use that spray CLP and just spray it into the barrel, but after I've got that wet, I'm going to push that brush through it. And ladies, most of the times, if possible, which it is if you have it separate, you want to go from the rear end, the breech end, the chamber end, whatever you want to term you need to use, but the back to the front. You want to push that brush through, because you want to make sure the crown part, that tip of that barrel, stays in tip-top shape. So I always go back to front. The only exception to that is like a revolver or something else where I can't take the barrel apart. So now I have this nice and moist inside, and I'm going to set it aside to soak. While that is soaking, I am going to pay attention to the frame. Now, this is a handy tool. It looks very much like a toothbrush, only it is a double-ended toothbrush. You can use cotton swabs as well. I like the cotton swabs on a stick. I like these ones in particular because the tip of it is really helpful when disassembling a bolt in an AR-15. Perfect for that. I also like to use pipe cleaners. Now, if you're going to use pipe cleaners, chenille wire is not the same thing. It needs to be cotton pipe cleaners, because chenille wire will leave all that little goopy lint all over the place. So definitely stay away from that. Not the craft ones, but the real ones will be good. All right, and you could use an old rag, you can use this toothbrush, but you're just going to go to town and start cleaning up and knocking loose all the bits and particulates on the frame itself. You can give it a little spray. with the lid off. Little spray. Now this spray is kind of like, it's an alcohol-based thing. So when you spray it and everything's sopping wet, don't worry, it dries very quickly. So I'm gonna take my rag, I'm gonna dry up that mess that I made. I'm making sure that I'm getting clean under and around the rails, because the rails are where you put some oil, and oil attracts dirt and particulates. So you definitely wanna clean that off. This can be actually a little therapeutic. I enjoy cleaning my firearms most of the time. No lie, seriously. Okay, getting everything wiped down. I even get up inside the magazine well just to get that in there. I drop my magazines onto the ground all the time if I'm at an outdoor range or even an indoor range. They're designed to fall, so I let them. And sometimes they get a little dirty and muddy and all that. So anyway, so I've given everything on here a pretty good wipe down or a spray down, both of those. And this one's pretty much good to go. So call that done. Oh, I will mention that all this stuff in here, you don't really need to worry about that, okay? You do the best you can, but you don't need to disassemble it any further than this. If you have any real issues that lead you to believe that that's something you need to do, then you can just take it to an armorer or a gunsmith, somebody who's a professional who really knows how to take the gun all the way down to the completely stripped nitty-gritty bits. Okay, so then I'm gonna go to the slide. Okay, so I have this slide. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna get that toothbrush in there, make sure the rails are clean, getting everything off, spray that, give it a good wipe down. I'm spraying my tablet too. I'll clean it up later. Scrub, scrub, good to go. Give that a wipe down. Of course, you'll take more time than I am. I'm going a little fast for video purposes, obviously, but I want to make sure everything's good. Now, there are particular spots on here that you really want to give attention to. So, nice close-up. Right here. How do I point to that? Your extractor. That's the best view. Right here, there's a little claw thing. That claw is the extractor. It is the part that pulls the empty casing out of the barrel when you fire a shot. You want to make sure that there is no buildup at that spot there, because it needs to be able to hook on. You know, think like Jim Carrey's The Claw. Anyway, okay, I'm not funny, but all right. And the face part of it, where that firing pin is, you really don't want to do, you don't want to squirt any oil in there or anything. You want to make sure it's free and clear of debris, but you don't want to put anything in that hole, because that's the firing pin hole, and oil will attract dirt, and you just don't want to do that. So, slide is clean. Then we're going to take that barrel that we set aside, and this is where you start running patches through. So if you have a jag that has a hole like this, it looks like the eye of a needle, but bigger, you run a patch through it and run that through your barrel. Of course, you're going to dip it in some of that solvent, run it through again, and you keep running it through, getting a new patch. Keep running patches till it comes out clean. There's also another jag that has like a pointy tip. It's the same thing, only instead of it looking sideways like this, when you put this one on, it's there you go. It comes out with a 360 like that. My gun is looking pretty clean. Oh yeah, I'd call that barrel good. All right, set that aside again. Now this spring shouldn't be too dirty, but what I like to do, I like to give it a spray. That spray, by the way, leaves a very thin layer, thin coating of oil. And then I'm gonna wrap around and let those coils go through my fingers. Spring done. So, frame, check. Spring, check. Barrel, check. Slide, check. Let's reassemble. Okay, so what we're gonna do is in reverse order. I'm gonna shove that barrel back in. Oh, hold on, I almost missed a step. Oh goodness, it would have been okay because I did put that Clean Lube Protect on it, but oil, you wanna know, where do I oil this thing? So what I do is I take my finger and I put a drop of oil, a good sized drop of oil on my fingertip, and I rub them together. And then I just massage my barrel. Everywhere that metal rubs on metal, I'm going to put a little bit of massaging love on it. That will give it a nice thin layer everywhere that metal rubs metal. And then I'm going to stick a drop on the slide on each side right in the rails, because the rails take a lot of abuse because that's what's holding it on there. Okay, now back to reassembly. Stick that barrel back in, okay, just like that. And then I'm going to stick the spring back in where it was, just like that. Grab my frame, put it back on. I know it's noisy. That's okay. I like it when guns make noise. It says they're working. Now, anytime I ever take a gun apart, every time, I always function check. You got to make sure that you put everything back correctly. So what I'm going to do after I give it this last wipe down here is my function check. So if your firearm has a safety, like an external safety button or lever, put that safety on. You're going to engage that. Now, some firearms will not fire or even dry fire unless they have a magazine inserted. So you may need to insert a magazine to make sure it's done correctly. Mine doesn't need that, but for demonstration purposes, showing it's still empty, I am inserting that. Okay, if you have a safety, put it on and press the trigger. Nothing should happen. Good, that means your safety is working. So for me with a Glock, it doesn't have an external safety lever. It just has passive safety mechanisms built in. So I'm gonna try to press the trigger without pressing the safe action part of it, and it did not go. So that's good, okay? Then I want you to take your safety off. Take it off safe. And for firearms that don't have levers or buttons and it's just integrated with the trigger, now you're gonna press the trigger again and pin it to the back. So that's what this looks like. Press and hold. Don't let go. If the trigger broke, that's a good thing. It means that part of the trigger is functioning. Now, with your finger still there holding the trigger back, you're gonna cycle the slide, rack the slide. So, hard and fast with authority, removing the magazine, send it forward. Now release that trigger and listen. There should have been a click. That means your trigger reset. And then you press the trigger one final time. And if it breaks again, your function check is complete. So what we have done is we have cleaned our gun with a quick field cleaning with our bore snake. And then after that, we have gone and we have done the entire thing. Hopefully it has been a help to you. I love Shoot Like a Girl. I love this community. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Yay, Rebecca! All right, I hope y'all like that. I know sometimes the camera angle got a little hard to see what was going on, but there's a lot of goodness in that. And she did a great job.
She definitely did a great job. And she really focused in the end on the one part that we often don't really focus on, which is that function check. You know, we spend a lot of time during the ones and twos and what comes next with that, take it apart, clean, and put back together. But the function check is just as important. If any of you are planning to come see us in Wichita, Kansas, you might be able to meet Rebecca live and in person possibly. So
Yeah.
she's hopefully going to join us on that trip as well.
Yeah, and we're in Waco next, so we've got a few weeks at home, and then we're off to Waco on the 9th and 10th of April. Yeah, so that will be fun. We really like all the comments that you guys are sending to Rebecca. She'll appreciate that because I know she wanted to be here in person, and we're glad that she was able to accommodate us. And there's a lot of videos for that, but I will tell you the way she explains it in terms that you just understand. And I don't know that I ever even knew that that little bristly brush was called a jag. So I'm like, I learned something. I always call it, the little bristly brush.
Right.
So,
I mean, whatever works, right?
right. It's great to learn. So we've got some house cleaning. So everyone, I have several packages to go to the post office today. You'll see we've got a hat, a shirt, and a decal that I'm sending out to 4 people that we've collected addresses from. And I think I owed 2 of you for quite some time. So I apologize that that hasn't gotten out into the post office. All of my friends and family know that I really am not a good mailer. And so I don't know who in their right mind gave me this task to mail things, but apparently I got it.
You gave it to yourself.
I know, right? It's terrible.
Right.
But
well,
anyway,
we actually have a winner for next week that you can add to the list. So I'll make sure to capture that address for you once I reach out to her, and we'll throw her in the list. So remember, when we call your name, there could be some delay just because of travel schedule and the fact that Karen has now admitted to everyone that mailing skills are not at the top of her list. No. So for last week, we had Chuck Haggard on with us, and we talked a lot about situational awareness and resetting your awareness. And our winner is Renee Thompson Thornton. So I'll reach out to you and get your mailing address. And we've got a nice Like a Girl swag bag for you as well. For those of you that are watching today, whether live or in replay, comment, like, or share, and that will get you entered to win in a Hobbies prize pack. We'll put together some gun cleaning supplies and get that shipped out to you.
Right. Oh, I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Everybody, we went long, but this was a lot of great information that Rebecca presented. We're really glad that y'all liked it. You can find all of those products that she was talking about at our friends at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, so check them out. And I hope that y'all, where the weather is, you're safe. Oh, we have something. What?
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking, I don't know how many people are still on because we went over.
A lot.
Those may watch in replay. You might want to say just a little bit about the exciting announcement we made this week about our upcoming Beretta.
Yeah. So yes. So I don't know if y'all have seen our post Hunt Like a Girl, but Shoot Like a Girl is partnered with Beretta, and we are doing a hunt giveaway where one lady is going to win an all expense paid hunt minus any taxidermy she may want. All expense paid hunt to Kansas to turkey hunt this May. And so we are looking for nominations. Everybody that enters is entered, but we're trying to find a new hunter, someone that hasn't hunted turkeys before, to go out with the Shoot Like a Girl team and some industry partners from Beretta and go chase some thunder chickens. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're really proud for this initiative with Beretta. Shoot Like a Girl this year has 5 hunts. As we've traveled across the country, we've found that between 25 and 33% of our guests say that they don't hunt but want to. And we're looking at this as another way that we can introduce women to the confidence and the serenity that comes from shooting sports and hunting. Honestly, it gives me that every time I get a chance to go outside and sit in the woods, whether I see anything or not. I just leave feeling refreshed, renewed, and ready to start the week. And if I get a turkey and some food on my table, it's all a bonus. So we're excited to offer that opportunity. I will tell you, we are getting some great nominations. So if you write something, we're reading every single thing that you write. So if you write, I really want to go, probably, you might want to think about putting a little bit more into that, because we have some great candidates that are submitting their essays. So it's an essay contest. So that means you have to write an essay. um, but it's really exciting. We can't wait. It's an all-female hunt, and it will be a lot of fun out in Kansas. And this is the first. I will tell you, I might be spilling the beans, but we're going to do more. We're going to also do a pheasant hunt in September, and we're going to do a duck hunt in December. And so 3 species, all with Beretta shotguns. It'll be a lot of fun, and really, really, I'm just thrilled with it. So if you want to enter, you can look on our social and find the link, but it's Hunt Like a Girl, Shoot Like a Girl / Hunt Like a Girl. And you'll get to the page where you can actually go in, or just Google it. I Googled it today and it comes up 1,000 times. So we're excited about that too. Yeah, I don't know. Krista, I'm glad. So you guys can't see, but while we were doing this, I could see Krista in the background, kind of stretching, doing her exercises. It makes me feel good to know she wants to get back on the road with us. And I really, you'd never known that she had such a severe injury, because I don't think she missed a day of work in terms of always getting on the computer with me. So you guys have a great day. Krista, did I miss anything else? That was pretty important.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
And thank you all for joining in. It was a different format with the video. Remember, comment, like, and share to be entered to win a Hoppy's prize pack. And we'll see you guys on our live next week.
Next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.